This is an instruction video on how to do a batch geocode with data that is town-centric instead of street-centric and check the results. We're going to do this with a product called LocateXL from Prime Thought Software Solutions. First, make sure that you've installed Spatial Excel and LocateXL per the instructions in the video called How to Download and Install LocateXL and Spatial Excel available on YouTube. Next, I'm going to open the spreadsheet of the data I'd like to geocode. As you can see in the data, the street names are not very well named, or they might not be available. So the city is much more important in this data, as well as the province. Now I'm going to load the Geocode data file, which you will receive when you purchase the product from Prime Thought. As you can see here, we are loading streets. Now we're loading crossings. We're indexing the data. And there our Geocode data file has now been loaded successfully. Now we're going to look at how the settings are set for the Geocode data. In this tab, you can see that the road name is scored 20, extension, which is road, lane, street, way, so forth, is 3, suffix, which could be north, east, south or west, is scored 2, and then suburb, town and province are scored 10 each. If you add up these totals, plus in your parameters tab, your street number match score of 2, you will get a total possible score that you could achieve. So in other words, if your road was named exactly correct, with the right extension, the right suffix, and the right suburb, town and province, and with the right street number, you would achieve the maximum score possible. There is also a soundex scoring, which it would be slightly lower than the actual weight, which means that if something is very slightly misspelled, you might still have a match, but the score will be lower. This is a general setup for data, and we are not going to use the specific weightings because we need road to have a much lower score than town, for instance. I have set up a scoring for town-centric data already, which I'm going to open now. And as you can see, the GCC file or custom data file that I've loaded is called town-centric. After we've loaded this, when we go back into settings, you can see that all these weights have changed. Road now only carries a weight of 5 potentially, and town has a weight of 20, which is much higher than the previous scoring. When you make changes to the settings, you can save your particular GCC file by simply going into custom data and saying save as, and you can give it your own name and then reload it in future for use. So you can tweak the settings for your particular data set and save that so that you can use that again in future. We're going to use structured geocoding, which means that we're going to use the exact column for street, city and province. We could use unstructured geocoding as well in certain instances, and that would be in the case where your data is mixed up a bit in your columns and your province names, for instance, could be appearing in a suburb field, etc. And then you would read the data as if everything is just one string. So you're not, in that case, using the structure of the columns of your data. But in this case, because our data has been set out in columns properly, we are going to use structured geocoding. Next, we're going to choose our address columns. So road, I'm going to choose to be street. Suburb, we're not going to be using. Town, we're going to use to be city. And province, we're going to use to be province. And now we're going to do a geocode by simply saying locate all. There's only 300 odd records, so we've already done the geocoding for these records. To look at the results of the geocoding, you will see that they are next to the data that was geocoded. And here you can see this is the geocode number, which is like the street number, the name of the road, the extension, suburb, town, province, Here we've got the geocode status. If it's an S, it means it's geocoded to street. N means it's geocoded to the actual number in the street. This is a point of interest geocode. And then you also have a score like P for postal code, 0 for suburb, and 1 for town. These are the actual scores, which is out of the total of 52. And this is the actual confidence, which is worked out as a percentage. The higher the confidence, the more accurate we expect the geocode to be. And of course, you've got your X and Y location. When we look through the results, we can see if there's any anomalies that we can pick up on. For instance here, let's see if we can find any better matches. So if you right click on the row, go to LocateXL and get detailed location info of current row. Let's see. Here's all the possible options that we could choose from. And as you can see, there's Cosmos Park, Calvinia. If you, for instance, feel that this is a better match, you could choose this column and say choose. And it would then replace your result. To see these on a map, you can open Spatial Excel. I'm going to show the spatial pane is floating because I'm not using a very big screen size. Now I'm going to load Bing Maps. In the Data tab, we choose Bing Maps. So, okay. And I'll just zoom fit to my Bing Maps. Please make sure when you use this that your scene projection is set to WGS84. To set this, double click on your scene projection, and in your predefined projections, load GCS WGS84, click on use and OK, and that will be your correct scene projection. Now if I go to any one of these particular rows, I can right click and in LocateXL say zoom to current row on map. That might be off your screen, so let's just go to zoom on map in here, and if we then look at the spatial pane, that is the exact road that we have located to. I'm just going to turn on my crosshair. You can set your crosshair color over here. Make sure that it's set to show. I've got the crosshair thickness as 5. That was in your scene properties over here. And there in the middle of the screen, right in the center, is the exact place to which we geocoded. Let's go to another. Zoom to current row on map. And here you go. That's where it located that particular address. To find out if a particular address exists, you can also use your quick geocoder, which is another demo on YouTube. To place all of your data on the map, you can simply right click on your spreadsheet, go to add layer in Spatial Excel, and let's just choose the default settings is fine. And there's all my data that's been geocoded placed on a map. To change the color of these, I'm going to go into the properties of that layer, to thematics, choose the color column score, make it a colouring gradually between different colours. And we can turn our colours around because a higher score actually means that it's been better geocoded. And there, depending on how the data was geocoded, the different colours show on the map. This is fully explained in the thematics demo of Spatial Excel. Thank you very much.